In the 17th century, a new kind of power rose from the storm-swept harbors of Amsterdam. It wasn't a kingdom or an empire, but a company. The Dutch East India Company, or VOC. Its ships loomed on the horizon like sea monsters, carrying not just spices and silks, but a dark ambition that would reshape the world. This is the story of a company built not only on trade, but on fear, violence, and a shadow that ruled the seas. Back in Europe, Amsterdam's lavish halls echoed with the clinking of gold coins. The directors of the VOC, the Huron 17, watched over their growing empire like silent, calculating judges. This was the Dutch Golden Age, a time of incredible prosperity. But behind this shining facade stood a ruthless machine, and its wealth came at a cost hidden thousands of miles away, across vast, unforgiving oceans. The first to feel the true nature of this new power were the spice-rich islands of what is now Indonesia. In the Banda Islands and across Java, the VOC enforced its monopoly with fire and steel. They didn't just want to trade for cloves and nutmeg, they wanted to own them completely. To do this, they burned villages, destroyed competing spice trees, and imposed harsh taxes enforced by soldiers. Entire communities were uprooted, and in the infamous Banda Massacre of 1621, nearly an entire population was erased from existence, all for the price of spice. The gears of this corporate machine were oiled with human suffering. The VOC became one of the world's largest traffickers of forced labor. Men, women, and children were captured, bought, and sold across the Indian Ocean. They were treated as cargo, their names recorded in ledgers alongside barrels of spices and bolts of cloth. On plantations and in suffocating warehouses, they toiled under the watchful eyes of armed guards, trapped in a brutal system of debt and violence from which there was no escape. The company's power wasn't just military, it was political. Its envoys entered the courts of Asian kings not as humble merchants, but as kingmakers. They wielded diplomacy as a weapon, turning kingdoms against each other, pressuring rulers into signing away their sovereignty, and installing puppet leaders who would serve the company's interests. The VOC rewrote the political map of Asia, not with ink, but with coercion and manipulation. Its Asian headquarters, Batavia modern-day Jakarta, was a city built on bones. Behind its fortresses and canals lay crowded, segregated quarters where disease ran rampant. It became one of the deadliest cities on Earth, its foundations stained by forced labor and summary executions. Even in Japan, where the VOC held a rare trading monopoly, they were prisoners. Confined to the tiny artificial island of Deshima, they were stripped of their weapons and freedoms, constantly watched, a symbol of how even the powerful could be caged. Further south, at the Cape of Good Hope, a vital supply station was built through conflict and the displacement of the indigenous Khoikhoi people, reshaping a society forever. Meanwhile, Europe's stock exchanges buzzed with excitement. Investors celebrated unimaginable profits, blissfully ignorant or willfully blind to the brutality that paid for their fortunes. Reports of massacres and enslavement were filed away, stamped, and locked in dusty archives. But an empire built on such cruelty cannot last. Weighed down by its own corruption, greed, and the immense cost of its violence, the giant began to crack from within. The VOC didn't fall in a great battle. It collapsed into silence, its ships left to rot in shipyards, its ledgers bleeding red ink. Its corporate empire vanished, but its shadow remains, a haunting legacy etched into the histories of nations across the globe. Thanks for watching. Follow for more hidden stories from our past.